What's going on, everybody? You're watching the Ken Wregget Friends Show, brought to you by YinsAreCrazy.com. Follow us on YouTube at YinsAreCrazy, and of course, subscribe to our Yins Are Crazy podcast. I'm Mike Nicastro. You can find me at MikeDubSports1 on Twitter. More importantly, as always, that is former Penguins Stanley Cup goaltender Ken Wregget. And today, Ken, we have the former general manager of the Pittsburgh Penguins and a guy that brought you to Pittsburgh in Craig Patrick.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say. Like I am, I'm honored. I'm beside myself. I mean, that's the reason I'm here, and to have him on with the Olympics on, and what he's brought to the USA Hockey with the Olympics it's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it.
Going to be an amazing show. If you missed any shows, make sure you catch up. We had Joe Mullen last week, which is quite relevant because Joe Mullen was the first U.S.-born player to score 500 goals.
Yeah. And
last night, Sidney Crosby against the Flyers, how fitting, scored his 500th goal. Ken, what a moment.
And his 50th goal against the Flyers. Debut on that one, so 5,500 type of thing, and we have Ron Hextall here as our general manager, and the rivalry with inside of Pennsylvania. It's good times coming down the pike here, so stay tuned.
And he did it on Jaromir Jagr's 50th birthday. If it couldn't get any more special, holy crap! Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah. So all of that to come. We'll ask Craig Patrick about that. Craig Patrick drafted Sidney Crosby, so I don't know if there are many in the Pens organization that know Crosby any better. To be great to get his opinion and his perspective. He was in the building last night when that happened. All right, Kenny, of course I want to talk about where you're sitting, 31 Sports Bar and Grill. For my money, the best bar and grill in all of Pittsburgh. Of course, check them out in Bridgeville. You guys have a lot of cool stuff going on coming up, as always. Kenny, tell us about what you got going on.
Yeah, we're trying to keep busy. We're trying to keep everybody entertained. We appreciate the support we've had through the last couple of years. First off, I mean, it's been tough, and the local support again from playing hockey, and appreciated everybody in the community for what they're doing and helping us out. Again, it's amazing. We support local bands through and through. Friday, Saturday, we have some good bands come on. Check on our website. We have a game on Sunday. I believe it's at 1:00, and we're doing brunches and happy hours all along the week type thing. Food specials. Please stop by, say hi. On Thursday night, we're having a few alumni guys over against Toronto, my old alma mater, if you will, and just meet some of the guys. So if you're ever in the neighborhood, please stop down. I'd love to say hi to you, and thank you for tuning in for the show with Mike and I.
It's been a long, cold winter. I also know everybody's really thirsty. So I want to mention something that's quite important and should perk your ears up. Saturdays at 31 Sports Bar and Grill, Yuengling is hooking it up. And I mean hooking it up during college basketball season. Like I said, Saturdays during college basketball games, Yuengling is going to offer a 24-ounce beer. No, not 12 ounces, 24 full ounces of beer for just $3.50 at 31 Sports Bar and Grill. You have two of those, and you might be dancing with Ken Wregget over at 31 Sports Bar and Grill. Who knows? That's a terrific deal, and it sounds like a lot of fun on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll get up and dance if you want to. May not be pretty, but I'd be happy to. But yeah, we have a great Yuengling special. We try to support the for what's going on, the events and stuff. They've chipped in well and worked out well with us with the hockey through the years, and we're very lucky to have them join us on as a sponsor.
All right, we're doing a little dance here on the Ken Wregget Friends Show because we just have an awesome, accomplished, one of the most decorated people in Pittsburgh Penguins and hockey history. I think that's fair to say. It's former GM, current scout for the Penguins, Craig Patrick, right here on the Ken Wregget and Friends Show. And our next guest on the Ken Wregget and Friends Show certainly played a big hand in Ken Wregget even being in Pittsburgh. I don't know if Ken Wregget would own 31 Sports Bar and Grill or have his own show if it weren't for Craig Patrick. Of course, former player, Olympic hockey coach, NHL hockey coach, but you probably mostly remember him as the Pens GM from 89 to 2006. It's Craig Patrick. Craig, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And Craig, it's true that you're a current scout for the Penguins, right?
Yes, I'm scouting for the Penguins. Yes.
Can you talk about that role a little bit and how you're enjoying it and the transition from obviously to the GM position, which was a handful of years ago, to being a scout?
Yeah, I'm after being relieved of my duties as a GM. Took me a while to get back. I kept looking for another GM job, and it takes a while to find those jobs. So I never did. So I helped out in Columbus, helping out the GM and president there. And then they had a change in the GM. So I went to Buffalo for a few years under Pat LaFontaine. And then Pat got let go. And then I found my way back to the Penguins, fortunately. So what I do, I started out being on the road a lot. With COVID coming around, they asked if I just do it visually on TV. So not go to the home games, but I don't travel. So. And I just report on the players that I see and send my reports in.
A guy that you probably didn't have to scout or scrutinize too closely is Sidney Crosby. And obviously the relevant news of the day is last night he scored his 500th goal with the Pittsburgh Penguins, an incredible feat. First of all, Kenny, was your bar pumped up at that point? What was the reaction from 31 Sports Bar and Grill?
Yeah, it was very exciting last night. I think the Sidney Crosby doing as well as he has, and the Penguins for that matter doing as well as they have, is definitely resonated through the community, and I thought, quite frankly, with 50 goals against the Flyers and 500 goals, that's a really cool feat, and it's just. To be able to sit here and watch this with Sidney from what we've witnessed and him coming along through the years, it's been a great career for him, and we're lucky to have him.
Craig, were you in the house last night?
I was there. It was very emotional for me. Not only that Sidney scored his 500th goal, but the way that the crowd went. I mean, it was electric in there. They were crazy, and they kept on going. They started chanting Sidney Crosby for most of the rest of the game. And also, my first draft pick with the Penguins was Jaromir Jagr, and it happened to be his 50th birthday yesterday. So it was an interesting day for me, to say the least.
Yeah, it was quite poetic. There's no question about it, and a day that Pens fans, teammates alike, will remember forever. There's no question. You had the privilege of having greats, Hall of Famers under your supervision. Obviously, Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux. What is in the DNA, Craig, of a 500 goal scorer, whether it's on the ice, off the ice? We had Joey Mullen on the show last week, another guy, obviously, with 500 goals, a first U.S.-born player. What is the makeup and characteristics of these men?
Well, they're certainly driven. Like, there's no question about that. And when you look at, they all believe that they're going to be great. And I don't know. I wish I had that in my genes, but I don't.
Come on.
They definitely have it. And in Sidney's case and Jaromir Jagr's case, they're the hardest working guys I've seen, and they love the game. And Mario loves the game. All these people just love the game, and they study it much more than the average player, and it shows on their play.
And it was quite fitting that Crosby, of course, did it against the Philadelphia Flyers. I want to transition into the Flyers because there was a trade you pulled off in 1991-92 season with the Flyers. You acquired Rick Tocchet in the deal. But, of course, the main piece in that trade was goalie Ken Wregget. What were you looking for, Craig? And do you remember that transaction? I'm sure you do. Tell me about it a little bit.
Well, it was a three-way deal. It was with Los Angeles, and we were trying to get good depth at goaltender, good depth at defense, and a power forward like Rick Tocchet. We needed another guy like that. And we gave up plenty to get it, but we're very thrilled with the results that we received from it. So we got exactly what we needed, and Kenny would have found his way here one way or another. So I know that he belongs in Pittsburgh. So he would have somebody would have gotten him here, whether it was me or somebody else. So.
Ken, what was your reaction, obviously, to the trade at the time? And do you remember your first couple conversations with General Manager Patrick?
I do. My thoughts of the trade were, it was quite unique because Pittsburgh won the Cup the year before with the trade they made with Craig and Ronnie Francis, Grant Jennings. I believe Colin was in there as well. And to be part of the 92, and that was talk at Samuelson, and I always joked that I was thrown in for a bag of tape or a box of pucks or wherever. But Craig, what Craig was amazing of doing, and it should be known, he's got a great hockey background, and he's being very, very conservative on things. The Patrick name goes a long way back in hockey history, and to have and Craig, I'm a big fan of the Patricks, of yourself, of to come here in Pittsburgh, and it's just been wonderful. But the trades he made along the way to make Pittsburgh what it is for the Cups, we started off with 91, 92 has been amazing, and the guys with Joey Mullen, all those things along the way, like we're very grateful. I know that. And Pittsburgh is, in fact, as well, from being here and living in Pittsburgh over the years and experience it. And Craig, if I can, thank you very much, and Mike as well.
Thank you. I'm happy we're able to get you here.
Yeah.
I think it's more important to thank Craig than me. And I think you were at least traded for Cracker Jacks. Let's not talk about tape or anything like that. Something worth a little more value than some tape. Craig, can you give me a little bit of insight, and not me, fans who are watching this? I'm very curious what that war room, if you will, looks like when you're making a trade. I always think of, for my generation, the movie Moneyball. Brad Pitt's picking up the phone and he's like, negotiating, and then he's hanging up the phone, calling back, trying to leverage another team. Is that an accurate depiction? What is that kind of like?
Well, I'm sure everybody operates differently. I like to hear what everybody has to think about what we're doing. And when we made the Ronnie Francis trade, we weren't 100% all on board with that. But at the end of the day, I had to decide. And with the Philadelphia trade, I would say it was 90% that everybody in the organization wanted to have that happen. And we gave up some quality players, Mark Recchi, Paul Coffey. We gave up some people that were very, very good hockey players and proved that over the years. But we got what we needed. That's what mattered. And at the end of the day, there's phone calls that go back and forth. That one was a little complicated because I was talking to Philadelphia, Bobby Clark, and my counterpart out in LA, Rogie Vachon. So it got a little complicated, but we made it work out. Actually, a first round pick went from LA to Philly in that process as well. So it was a lot of quality pieces in that trade, and it took a while to do, but I think it worked out definitely for us. Definitely.
Thanks for the insider perspective. Ken, 6.5 great years with the Penguins, and then Craig ships you right back out to your native country up there in Calgary. Obviously, lighthearted here, of course. But Kenny, what was your reaction to that? And are you still holding a grudge?
No, it's not a grudge whatsoever. It's a game of hockey, and that's part of it. I was a lot of people don't know, and Craig's well aware. I was on no trade type of thing, and I grew up in Alberta. And for me, I knew I was kind of edging towards the end, and the expansion was coming in, type of thing, so those things were coming along the way. So it's kind of what we did. What could have been the best for both Pittsburgh, I would assume, and for Calgary and the expansion draft coming in, I think there was something in there as well. But, for the decisions Craig made along the way in both 91, 92 type of thing, and as Craig has mentioned, like it's very tough decisions. You look back in hindsight, they're maybe 2020, but at that time they're, uncertain. And what he's done bringing along, and I went off to Calgary, and that was the choice. But he did a great job, and he worked with the team and the organization to get us what we needed, and that's get us where we are right now today.
Yeah, obviously a rich history, as you keep mentioning. Craig has spent essentially his whole life in hockey. What else is taking place currently? I think everybody has on their minds the Winter Olympics. And there's a little thing called Miracle on Ice in 1980 that, it comes up not just every Winter Olympics, but I think every week in terms of U.S. hockey. Craig, what do you get asked about more if you're walking down the street? Is it the Penguins or is the 1980 gold medal Miracle on Ice team?
I would say it's different at different times, but overall they're probably equal.
Yeah.
Right now it's going to be the Olympics, but 2 weeks from now it's going to be the Penguins. So it's
right.
It changes with what's going on, but overall I would say it's pretty 50-50. That both those things come up, and And for me, I grew up in a family that was in professional hockey, so winning Stanley Cups was my goal. Winning a gold medal and winning a silver medal for the U.S. Although I did watch 1960 U.S. team win the gold medal when I was 14, and that inspired me a little bit more than I was inspired at the time for hockey. So I can't say that I disregarded the Olympic stuff, but it did inspire me, and I was fortunate enough to get a gold and a silver. We got a silver in 2002 in Salt Lake City. So I've been very grateful and fortunate to have it on both sides, I guess.
For those who are unaware, Craig was an assistant coach under Herb Brooks on that 1980 Miracle on Ice team. We'll touch on Herb Brooks briefly. I saw an interview with you, I think, somewhere where you said Herb Brooks was crazy, and I think you meant that in the best way. Can you elaborate?
He was brilliant. He was really brilliant. He knew. I'll tell you how I got involved. I was finishing my career. This is 79, and he's coaching the U.S. team in Moscow. And he asked me to come, or the U.S. hockey asked me to be there. And when I got there, he asked me to be the captain, and which was a privilege. Joey Mullen, I sat next to Joey Mullen in the locker room. We just sat and watched the other guys like, whoa, what are these crazy guys doing? But anyway, Herbie, while we were there, he said, I'm going to be the coach next year in the Olympic team. Would you be interested in being the assistant? And I said, absolutely. So we got back stateside from Moscow, and he called me. He said he was still interested. I said, yes. And I said, when do you need me? He said, tomorrow. He was in St. Paul, Minnesota. I was in Washington, D.C., because I just finished playing with the Capitals. And so I hopped in my car. I got out there the next day. We sat down, and the tryouts for the team weren't going to be until July. This is May. He said, the guys we're going to have on this team don't like each other. He said, the only way I know how to make them a team is to get them to dislike me, Herbie, as a unit. And then, Craig, you keep them all together. That's your job. That's all you have to do is just keep the team together. So I had an easy job because he got them all against him in a hurry.
And I think it's safe to say it worked out pretty damn well.
That was his game plan. But he, in talking about the team in May, knowing who he wanted, that's who he got in July. And he had a committee to help him pick the team. But I went into all those committee meetings, and he had top college coaches in the country. I'd go into those committee meetings and just sit back and watch. And by the end, he was a psychology major in college.
Yeah.
He had every one of those coaches buying into everybody that he wanted by the end of the tournament, by the end of the tryouts. And I was shocked. But what he did is he picked guys that he knew were going to put up with what he wanted to achieve in terms of on ice, training, all that stuff. And he taught them more hockey than I ever knew in 7 months, and had them in the best shape of any team in the country, or not in the country, on the globe.
Sure.
We were in better shape than the Russians. That's the only. And we won all our games, other than the Swedish game. We tied in the third period, but we won all our other games in the third period because we're in better shape than everybody.
Yeah,
and better prepared system-wise than anybody. It was just amazing what he accomplished in a short period of time.
Certainly something you could say about your time with the Penguins as well. All of you guys out there, remember that the next time you watch Miracle. That's some really cool anecdotes. Ken, how many times have you seen Miracle?
Many times. It's one of my favorite hockey movies, and it's which we all know it. Making a sports movie authentic is very tough. I thought Slapshot was a very good depiction of it, and Miracle on Ice was even more so type of thing. And what Craig's talking about and the Miracle on Ice, it's just amazing what he's told us. And with that miracle, I think I was trying to think about going into this interview what I could possibly say. You go back in 1980, I was drafted in 1982. And being Canadian, I think back then being Canadian and the NHL is like 90% Canadian players. And you can go back and do the stats on that. Craig could probably tell the same thing. I may be wrong, but the Miracle on Ice was they put together the USA put together a team that was college hockey players. The NHL wasn't allowed to play. Being paid professional opposed to the best athletes in that country. So, and that's where the true miracle came in. And what they did, Craig, and what you guys did, and Herb, and all along the way is hugely impressive. And it's very cool. It's very cool. It's a great story for hockey in the U.S. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you said it pretty well. So we're talking with, of course, former Penguins GM Craig Patrick. And Craig, I want to get you out on this. We're really excited for what we talked about last week a little bit with Joe Mullen, which is this upcoming 3-ice tournament. Joey talked about he's involved to a degree. You're the commissioner. I think you're probably the most involved out of anybody we could possibly talk to. Why this model? Why are you excited about this 3-on-3 tournament that could kick off hopefully June 18th, right?
Oh yes, we will start on June 18th.
Great.
It's Eddie Johnston, goalie, played and GM and coach here for years. His son EJ went to training camp in New Jersey, training camp here in Pittsburgh, and to be around his dad and other hockey people. And at those camps, they had 3-on-3 tournaments. And it was the most exciting part of the training camp. The bands got into it. And it's like 3-on-3 hockey in overtime now. Same thing. We're going to change some rules to make it even a lot of scoring. And we're just going to speed the play up. So not going to be many stoppages of play. We're going to have 2 face-offs, one in the beginning of each. It's going to be 2 halves. We'll have a face-off at the beginning of the first half and the beginning of the second half, and no more face-offs after that. Just keep on going, keep on playing. And it's going to be a lot of high skill, high speed activity. And I think it's going to be very, very exciting, and we're really looking forward to it. And we've got some great coaches.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about the players.
Yeah, we're going to be, and we're still working on it. We've got a lot of guys signed now. We can't mention names yet, but
sure.
It's going to be mostly guys that played in the NHL, maybe retired in the last year or two, or have went over to Europe to finish out their careers. Now they want to come back and get involved in all the players are really excited about this concept, because playing as a player, Kenny wouldn't enjoy it as much because the goaltenders get pummeled. But 3-on-3, I'd play 3-on-3 all day long if I could. It's just the greatest part of the game. So much fun. You can show your skills. You've got room to do all dipsy doodles and nice passes and all that. It's just, it's going to be exciting, and it's tournament style. So we'll go into, it's like the PGA moves into a golf area for a weekend. We're going to go in for a weekend. Our games will be on Saturdays, and we'll play. We're going to have 6 teams start this year. We'll expand after this year. We're going to start with 6 teams, and all the teams will play through. So there'll be 3 games played. The 3 winners and the team that scores the most goals advance to the second round.
Thanks.
Then the winners of that advance to the finals. And every weekend there'll be a champion, and they garner points and money. They get paid based on it. So then you get points also. So the team with the 4 teams with the most points at the end of 8 weeks go to our final weekend for the championship, and have the same tournament. We'll have 4 teams play, then there'll be a consolation game and a championship game in the final weekend. And
it sounds like so much fun. I know Pittsburghers are looking forward to it. You talked about some games being in Pittsburgh, going to be all across North America. I know you can't reveal the players. Ken, is it safe to say? Is it safe to say that Ken's not going to be playing? Ken, are you playing?
I'm going to work on taking it off the phone and I'll ask him.
Yeah, I think it's time to hit the ice and get some reps in, I guess, if that were going to be the case. Hey, listen, he orchestrated multiple Stanley Cup champions with the Penguins. He's now orchestrating 3 ice, which we greatly look forward to. It's been an absolute pleasure. Craig Patrick, thanks so much for coming on the Ken Wregget Friends Show, brought to you by Yins Are Crazy and YinsAreCrazy.com.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you very much, Craig. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Crazy. I know Yins are crazy, but so am I. #1 sports site in the Berg, let me show you why.